juvenile justice system is one of the few public systems in this country that is totally unaccountable. It holds the wrong kids for long periods of time, and it definitely disproportionately holds young people of color.
Our government spends a lot of money across the nation to help families who are facing challenges and issues. And when those systems that get that money, which is your tax dollars and my tax dollars, are not using them for the purposes that they got the grant for, then our community loses. We don't have the outcomes that we need. Why aren't things getting better? Year after year after year after year, the same programs are operating and nothing changes. Things get worse.
If you look locally at who's in these local detention facilities, you're going to find that the vast majority of these young people are not murderers. They haven't done violent crimes. Some of them have committed some serious crimes and are there, but there's a lot of young people who are there for basically being a young person, for doing things that young people have always done. Question authority, acting out, being loud, not behaving well in school. Now we have zero tolerance. Today they call the police, and they're taking kids out of school in handcuffs.
Basically, you have to go into a state of depression in order to handle sitting in a cell 14, 16, 18 hours a day. For every day that they spend in detention, they get further and further behind in a knowledge-based 21st century economy. Every time one of our young people sits in detention, that's a day wasted in the life of their future. They won't be able to buy a house. Their employment chances are less. For every day you sit in detention, you get further and further behind in that race. And so we want to make sure that our young people stop being fodder for this system.
They really don't have an opportunity to get mentorship or develop connections with adults who want to lead them in the right direction. It's the opposite outcome of what society would really want by putting someone in that environment.
An ugly incident caught on tape.
A vicious beating caught on tape.
The California Youth Authority is on the hot seat again, this time following the release of a videotape which shows counselors punching and kicking two wards of a Stockton youth facility. 28 separate punches.
You ever wonder who makes the decision about who gets locked up and who gets let go? The decision to get locked up happens more for kids of color than it does for white youth. It's unbelievable, but there is very little correlation between who is dangerous and a public safety risk in the community and who is locked up. Oftentimes, the young people that are detained are people that have pissed off an adult or not done exactly what somebody told them to do. It is all over the map. Different people can make different decisions different ways, but what we know is kids of color get locked up. What we want is objective decision making based upon a scoring that is more objective than it is personal and subjective. The risk assessment instrument measures two things: too dangerous or you're not going to show up to court. The overwhelming majority of young people that are arrested will show back up to court and will not commit another crime before their court date. When we get data on young people that are held, young people of color in detention should not have been held because they scored low or medium risk on the risk assessment instrument.
Data collection has become really, really important. And I have to tell you, at first, I didn't believe that it was important because you don't need to tell me that there are more black kids in jail than other races. I can see that for myself. And I learned that from my community, how many families are involved with the juvenile justice system. Then when I started to realize how they analyze that data, and they use that data to direct the money.
Every juvenile justice system has to go and ask for funding in front of a political body every year.
Coming to your local city hall and really applying pressure saying, hey, first of all, there's a problem in our county. We have a problem with locking up more Black and Latino youth than are their numbers in the society. We are disproportionately preying on them. Without this public pressure and without kind of a mass mobilization to push these changes, it may fall on deaf ears. Because a lot of these people know that they're failing. They know that they're not successful with these young people. This is not confusing. This is not news to them. This is business as usual. So you have to move people off of where they're at to a better place where they're saying, I'm gonna make my life and my job a little bit tougher so that maybe these life outcomes for these young people can be a little bit better. Hit the public venue and organize yourselves, organize your people, and go there and challenge them on behalf of the public, saying we need something better. We need actual leadership out of you elected officials. We need you to pay attention to what's going on in this system, in these facilities. And then we need you to question whether or not you should continue to fund them like you do. The money that you're spending, that you're wasting, locking them up, should go to a community-based program or to a service providing agency who's going to provide them young people with meaningful services. They need to be at home in the community, and the local government needs to create resources to really support that. The people are your power. It's about backyards. There's 3,100 counties in this country. The vast majority of them are not doing anything about this because this is business as usual. Your county's probably one of them.
We can't wait to begin to start this movement of getting system accountability around the country. It's time. Nobody else will do it for us, and so it's up to us to do it. So let's get it done.
An accountable system has to have certain pillars in place, certain things that are fundamentally there in order for it to be accountable.